Welcome to your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Wednesday, March 31. The April 1 hike in the national minimum wage is a go. Word of this from Prime Minister Mia Mottley at a press conference this evening. Mottley, who held 5-hour-long discussions with the social partnership, acknowledged that while differences linger about the timing of the move, now is the time for adjustment. She adds there are some benefits to be gained.
We know that there's an adjustment, but I ask myself, if you are paying somebody who is working with you at $7 an hour, and for the additional 8 hours you must move to $150. I know that it is an adjustment, but our business is never sustainable unless we are carrying all of the people that we need to carry, including treating the people who work with us appropriately. So I trust and pray that Barbadians will understand that this is a moment for adjustment. This is a moment for right sizing and doing the right thing. And there may be some adjustment, some consequences, but we're satisfied that in the long run it will work. And let me also say this. People who have money and who receive additional money tend to save it straight off. People who are struggling to survive, if they receive funds, more often than not will need to spend it. And therefore, one of the experiences that we've seen in countries where a minimum wage has been introduced is that in truth and in fact it has led to increased disposable income for the class of person who is benefiting, and to that extent those persons have been able to contribute to having greater economic activity being pursued as a result of their spending. So I trust and pray that we will as a society recognize that this is the right thing to do, and that there are certain people in this country that to ask them honestly to live on $48 a day times 5 is really too much in this environment, particularly with prices over the course of the last decade having gone up.
Labour Minister Colin Jordan added that government was approached by the security sector and some changes have been made.
Government being approached, looking at what was put on the table, it resulted in us going back to consult again with the security sector. We also consulted again with the trade union, and coming out of that, we made an adjustment to the second schedule of the order. So this government listens. Prime Minister would have indicated that everything we heard, almost every other thing we had heard before. But based on that representation from the security sector, we made an adjustment. And I just wanted to share that to say that this government continues to listen and continues to respond.
An ancillary worker at the Barbados Community College who was sacked last Wednesday was today reinstated. The action led to brief protests by her colleagues this morning, while the National Union of Public Workers and BCC management met around the bargaining table to discuss what the union insisted was a wrongful dismissal. NUPW Acting General Secretary Wayne Walron updated reporters on the positive outcome.
We are happy to announce that she being offered an appointment to the post of maid. And therefore, with this, we are very happy with this resolution. It still augurs well going forward with the board to continue those relations that we enjoy. And so therefore, workers have been advised they have to go back to work. So yes, we have had an amicable resolution. The lady has been reinstated. She will go on vacation from today. And therefore, this matter has been amicably resolved in the interest of Ms. Eiffel and her work colleagues and the National Public Workers.
For the third day in a row, personnel from the Sanitation Service Authority were forced to return to the junction of Kensington New Road and Fontebelle to remove waste dumped in the area. This time around, it was fish waste, and according to the SSA's Public Relations Officer Carl Alf Padmore, the culprit has been caught on camera and the evidence has been turned over to police.
We actually have footage of a man disposing of materials in this area, and that information we are going to hand over to the Ministry of Health and to the police for further action from them. What concerns us is that there are persons who are actually paying these persons to come to this site to dispose of the inside of animals. Now, it's not healthy because there's a hairdressing salon there and there's also a food establishment there. Apart from that, it is next to a drain.
Padmore also revealed that there are at least 2 other sites in the city that are hotspots for illegal dumping. He expressed concern that several people have been paying homeless people to illegally dump waste. And he's calling on Barbadians to not only desist from the practice, but he wants more families to reach out to their relatives who are on the streets.
We spoke to one of the young men. The police spoke to him and he admitted that Sherry and Carl Padmore gave him a $5 to take the stuff elsewhere. So the responsibility is us. If we break that cycle, don't pay him, then there's no work that he's doing. If you call the SSA and say, look, we have a community that is in need of cleanup, we will come do some education and we might provide a bulk weight service for you. But there's no tipping fee as well. You can have a neighbor who has an open back vehicle and take it straight to the landfill as well. I don't think that we're trying hard enough as a country to arrest the problem at all. It is causing a big strain on the resources of health, of SSA and the social services, where families can do more intervention.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news, in Trinidad and Tobago, a cry for justice and social reform amid mounting concern about the worrying spike in gender-based violence. The Women's Lives Matter Foundation, headed by Sandra Maharaj, made the call at a peaceful motorcade.
Maharaj tells TV6, though the lives of Andrea Barrett, Ashanti Riley and others may be no more, the movement for justice must stay alive.
This motorcade is our way of showing, having our presence felt, to show the beat of the nation, the heartbeat of the nation right now, that enough is enough.
The Women's Lives Matter Foundation has started an online petition which has amassed over 1,500 signatures, despite being launched 2 weeks ago.
We have launched a petition, which is a 12-point petition for judicial, social, and educational reform. We are not fighting for permit for pepper spray, we are fighting for permit for guns. We have a socio-economic problem facing our country right now.
Joining Ms. Mirage at the motorcade was Pastor Clive Dalton of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. He's encouraging the nation to be hopeful and to practice the 3 C's: courage, consistency, and commitment.
I said earlier that hope and fear cannot coexist in the same space. And therefore, if we have hope, more hope than fear, we defeat fear.
On the international scene, Russia has registered what is believed to be the world's first vaccine against COVID-19 for animals, including cats, foxes, and minks. More in this report from Reuters Television.
Russia has registered a new COVID vaccine for the furry, fluffy, and four-legged among us, believed to be the world's first vaccine for animals. The country's agricultural regulator, Roselkhosnador, made the announcement on Wednesday after tests showed the vaccine generated antibodies against the virus in dogs, cats, and mink. Mink is particularly important because parts of Europe have feared cross-transmission with the animal. Denmark culled its entire mink herd, 17 million, after concluding a strain had passed from humans to mink and back again. Roselkhosnador's deputy head, Konstantin Savinkov.
Of course, we have fully understood that today this is a new challenge, both the virus itself for humanity and the virus's transmission from animals to humans and from humans to animals. And we have done this work with the future in mind. We should be prepared to be able to prevent the negative situation and not just be able to fix it afterwards.
The vaccine is called Carnavac-Cov, and the agency says it continued to show an immune response in the animals 6 months after trials began in October. Roselkhosnador said that Russian fur farms plan to buy the vaccine, along with businesses in Greece, Poland, and Austria. Mass production could start as early as April.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.